been wanting to try to build something for speed for a long time. Let's learn how to build a ramp.
Round 1.
This speed build tutorial starts the moment the timer begins, so I jump straight into the foundation without wasting a single second. Time goes by really fast in challenges like this, and I want to finish before everyone else. I build the base of my ramp using stone and dirt blocks, stacking them into large, cube-shaped supports. Even though the inside is mostly hidden, a strong foundation makes the ramp look much more believable than if it were floating in the air. Real stunt ramps also need solid supports because they have to withstand the weight and impact of fast-moving vehicles. After finishing the base, I quickly grab the special ramp blocks with the animated green arrows. These blocks are designed to launch vehicles upward, so I place them one after another to create a steep incline. I keep checking the angle while building, because if the slope is too gentle, the jump will not feel exciting. And if it becomes too steep, the vehicle might lose control. There is still enough time on the clock, so I keep working as quickly as I can without making careless mistakes. With the ramp finished, I immediately take out a motorcycle from the special vehicle crate because the best way to test a stunt ramp is by actually using it. I line up with the arrows, accelerate toward the base, and race straight up the slope. The animated ramp blocks give the motorcycle an extra boost, sending it flying high into the air. That is exactly what I wanted to see. A good stunt ramp is not only tall, but also smooth enough for vehicles to climb without bouncing around. Phew, I barely made it on time. Great, my ramp is ready.
Hello.
Hey, Carrie, look. I built it in just a couple of minutes. Do you like?
Yay!
Really? I am very glad that you like my makeshift construction. Maybe then you can try to build a ramp yourself in just 10 minutes?
Ta-da!
They ran to the place. This is where your building will be. Are you ready?
Yay!
Then go ahead.
Round 2.
As soon as the timer starts, Carrie suddenly freezes for a moment. I have no idea what she is planning, and even her cat sounds make it seem like she is thinking very carefully about something. Instead of building the ramp immediately like I expected, she grabs a shovel and starts digging a tunnel straight into the ground. I honestly thought she was wasting precious seconds, but then everything makes sense. She fills the entire tunnel with TNT, lights it, and quickly runs back before the explosion goes off. A few moments later, a massive blast shakes the ground and leaves behind a huge crater. That is actually a clever shortcut because using TNT removes a huge amount of blocks in just a few seconds. There is still plenty of time left, and now Carrie already has a giant gap that vehicles will need to jump across. With the crater finished, Carrie immediately switches back to building mode. She starts placing stone blocks to create a long staircase leading upward, which becomes the structural foundation of her ramp. A stepped base is much easier to extend than trying to guess the correct angle block by block. After the support is finished, she places the same special ramp blocks with the animated green arrows all the way up the slope. Those arrows are what actually accelerate vehicles, so keeping them lined up correctly is very important. Carrie also builds an impressively long acceleration lane before the ramp. The longer the approach, the more time a vehicle has to reach maximum speed before taking off. Real stunt courses follow exactly the same principle, because even a perfectly built ramp cannot produce an exciting jump if the vehicle reaches it too slowly. comes the most exciting part of the tutorial. Carrie opens the special vehicle crate, takes out a car, and immediately starts testing the finished ramp. I watch as she drives across the long runway, races up the ramp, and flies cleanly over the enormous crater she created herself. She does not stop after one successful jump either. She turns around and tests the ramp several more times just to make sure everything works consistently. Professional builders often test their creations repeatedly because one successful attempt does not always guarantee a reliable design. Every jump looks smooth, the landing stays under control, and the timer still has not expired. Carrie finishes the challenge ahead of schedule once again, proving that spending a few seconds planning at the beginning can sometimes save much more time than rushing into construction immediately.
Ta-da! Yay!
Where did everyone run off to? Hey guys, what's all that noise?
Carrie and I are building a ramp on time, JJ. Who did it better?
Oh, both of your buildings look great, but I think it's up to the audience to decide who did the best.
Yes, JJ, you're right. Maybe then you have comments on the construction of Carrie.
I think not. I really like the ramp with flying over obstacles. It adds adrenaline.
I totally agree with you, JJ. Maybe then you can build your ramp in 15 minutes?
Okay, then let's run to the place.
JJ, good luck to you. We'll wait in the house.
That?
Thanks, guys. Then I'm starting. Round 3. The timer starts, so I immediately focus on building the foundation of the ramp. In a challenge like this, every second matters. But rushing without a plan usually creates even bigger delays later. I decide to use spectrite blocks for the main structure because they instantly make the ramp stand out with their vibrant colors and futuristic appearance. A stunt course should be easy to recognize from a long distance, and bright materials naturally draw the player's attention toward the starting point. Before placing any of the boost sections, I carefully establish the overall direction of the ramp and make sure the width remains consistent from front to back. A vehicle traveling at high speed needs enough room to stay centered, and even a slightly uneven track can send it off course. Good stunt courses always begin with a stable framework because every section built afterward depends on this initial alignment. With the base complete, I begin constructing the actual ramp using the same spectrite blocks together with the special boost blocks that the others used earlier. These boost blocks contain animated green arrows that provide vehicles with additional acceleration, making them perfect for large jumps and extreme stunt courses. I place them in a continuous line so the vehicle receives a smooth increase in speed instead of several disconnected bursts of power. The lower section of the ramp rises at a very steep angle, but that is completely intentional. In real stunt design, the launch angle determines almost everything about the jump. A shallow ramp creates long, low flights, while a steeper ramp sends the vehicle much higher into the air. Since my goal is to build an enormous course that reaches incredible heights, I choose an aggressive incline that immediately gives the vehicle plenty of upward momentum. Even though the clock is ticking, I take a few extra moments to check the proportions, because a perfectly built launch is far more important than saving a handful of seconds at the beginning of the challenge. With the launch section complete, I know the ramp is still far too short for what I have in mind. Building every additional segment by hand would take far too long, especially in a timed challenge. So I decide to use commands to speed up the process. I select the entire section I have just finished and copy it as one complete module. This is one of the biggest advantages of working with commands on large engineering projects. Instead of repeating the same construction over and over, I can duplicate a perfectly built section without introducing small mistakes. Modular construction is actually very common in real engineering. Many bridges, skyscrapers, and industrial structures are designed around repeating sections because identical modules are easier to manufacture, assemble, and maintain. By applying the same principle here, I can focus on designing an enormous stunt course instead of rebuilding identical pieces from scratch. One carefully built segment suddenly becomes the foundation for something much larger. After copying the first section, I paste it several times above the original, extending the ramp higher and higher into the sky. The structure grows incredibly quickly, but there is one important problem. At the moment, the entire ramp appears to be floating in midair, which completely breaks the illusion that it could actually exist. I immediately begin solving that issue by constructing massive support columns underneath the track using spectrite blocks. These supports are not only decorative, they completely change how the build feels. Real ramps, bridges, and elevated highways rely on huge structural supports to transfer their weight safely into the ground. Even though Minecraft does not simulate structural loads, our brains still expect large constructions to be properly supported. As each column rises from the ground to meet the underside of the ramp, the project begins looking less like a floating collection of blocks and more like a gigantic engineered structure capable of carrying vehicles hundreds of blocks above the landscape. With the extended ramp finished, I want the next obstacle to be something players will remember immediately. At the very end of the launch section, I construct a gigantic ring using magma blocks before setting it ablaze. The bright orange glow instantly becomes a dramatic focal point high above the ground. A simple jump is exciting, but flying through a massive ring of fire makes the stunt course feel like something from a professional action show. Real stunt events often use flaming hoops, giant obstacles, and other visual effects to make every jump more spectacular for the audience. Fire naturally attracts attention because of its movement and bright colors, so placing the ring directly in the vehicle's flight path guarantees that it becomes one of the most memorable moments of the entire course. It also serves another purpose. From far away, the burning ring acts like a landmark, letting players immediately see where the next major challenge begins. Passing through the first ring is only the beginning. I want this stunt course to keep surprising players, so instead of ending the track there, I continue expanding it with commands once again. Copying completed sections allows me to build upward at an incredible pace, while keeping every piece perfectly aligned with the rest of the structure. As each new segment appears, the ramp climbs higher and higher into the sky, reaching a height that would take an enormous amount of time to achieve by placing blocks manually. Large-scale construction projects often rely on repetition because repeating well-designed modules is both faster and more accurate than rebuilding every section from scratch. Even though commands perform the duplication instantly, careful planning is still required to make sure the entire course flows naturally from one obstacle to the next. After the first flaming ring, I intentionally leave a large empty gap before continuing the track. This changes the entire feeling of the course. Instead of simply driving across one continuous road, the vehicle now has to fly through open air before reaching the next section. To make the jump even more dramatic, I position the following stretch of roadway lower than the previous one, making it look as though it is growing out of thin air beneath the player. That visual trick creates the illusion that the ramp is floating independently in the sky. One interesting fact about amusement park design is that engineers often hide parts of roller coasters behind hills, tunnels, or scenery, so riders cannot predict what comes next. Unexpected sections make every ride feel faster and far more exciting. By separating the track into multiple floating platforms, I create the same sense of anticipation in Minecraft. At the top of the newly placed roadway, I build an even larger second ring and surround it with flames. Repeating the obstacle while changing its position creates a satisfying sense of progression rather than simple repetition. The first ring teaches players what to expect, while the second tests whether they can maintain enough speed and control to hit another precise target after landing the previous jump. Good level design often follows this philosophy. Introduce a mechanic, then challenge the player to use it in a more demanding situation. Looking across the completed sections, the course now feels less like a single ramp and more like a full-scale aerial stunt challenge, where every successful jump naturally leads into an even more spectacular one, waiting farther ahead. Now that the entire route stretches high into the sky, one thing immediately stands out. The track itself looks impressive, but it still appears to be floating in mid-air. I could easily leave it like that, since Minecraft allows unsupported structures, but I want this tutorial to demonstrate good building habits rather than simply taking advantage of game mechanics. That means it is finally time to construct the support system beneath every section of the ramp. This part takes much longer than using commands to duplicate the track, yet it is also one of the most important stages of the entire project. A massive structure instantly becomes more believable once players can clearly see how it connects to the ground. I begin placing enormous spectrite columns underneath the first section of the ramp, making sure each support reaches all the way down to the terrain. Rather than placing them randomly, I try to position them at regular intervals so the structure appears carefully engineered. Real bridges and elevated highways are designed in a very similar way. Engineers calculate exactly where supports should be located, so the weight of the structure is distributed evenly, instead of concentrating all the stress in one place. Minecraft never asked me to perform those calculations, but following the same principles immediately makes the build feel much more realistic. As I continue working, I notice how dramatically the appearance changes after every completed column. Before, the ramp looked almost magical, as though it were suspended by invisible forces. Now it begins resembling a gigantic transportation structure that could genuinely exist in the Minecraft world. This demonstrates an important lesson about large builds. Players often spend most of their time focusing on the main attraction, but supporting structures are usually what sell the illusion. Sometimes the parts people barely notice are actually the ones that make the entire project believable. Building supports for every section also helps establish a visual rhythm throughout the course. Instead of seeing one enormous floating platform, players now experience a repeating pattern of towering columns rising toward the sky. Architects frequently use repetition to create harmony within large structures. Whether looking at skyscrapers, aqueducts, suspension bridges, or railway viaducts, repeating structural elements naturally guide the eye across the entire project. Even though every support is almost identical, together they make the ramp feel significantly larger and more impressive. I continue extending the supports beneath every copied section, carefully checking that each column lines up with the track above it. This is one reason modular construction is so effective. Since every ramp segment has the same dimensions, the supports can also follow a consistent pattern. Large engineering projects often rely on standardized measurements because repeating identical components reduces construction time while improving reliability. That same philosophy works perfectly in Minecraft. A little planning at the beginning saves an enormous amount of work later in the build. One interesting fact is that very tall structures are rarely supported by vertical columns alone. Real engineers often reinforce them with diagonal braces, trusses, or additional crossmembers to resist wind and vibration. While Minecraft does not simulate those forces, simply imagining how a structure would behave in the real world often leads to much better designs. Thinking like an engineer instead of just placing blocks helps create builds that feel convincing from every angle. Even simple vertical supports tell viewers that the ramp has been designed with stability in mind rather than existing purely because the game allows it. After finishing the final support column, I fly back to admire the entire course from a distance. The transformation is remarkable. What once looked like a floating stunt track has become a colossal piece of engineering that towers above the landscape. Every section now appears securely connected to the ground, giving the illusion that thousands of tons of material are being carried safely by the massive spectrite framework below. This stage may have taken the longest, but it proves one of the most valuable principles in large-scale Minecraft building. Spectacular features attract attention, while realistic structural details make people believe the build could actually exist. With the construction finally complete, there is only one thing left to do before the timer runs out. I head back to the starting platform and open the special vehicle crate. Inside is the car that will put this entire stunt course to the ultimate test. The countdown is almost over, so there is no time for extra adjustments or another round of building. I climb into the driver's seat, line the car up with the center of the boost blocks, and press the accelerator. The animated arrows immediately begin pushing the vehicle forward, and within seconds, I am racing up the enormous Spectrite ramp at incredible speed. One of the best ways to check any build is to use it exactly as it was intended. A stunt course should not only look impressive from a distance, it should also deliver an exciting experience when someone actually drives across it. The car blasts through the first ring of fire, soars across the massive gap, lands perfectly on the floating roadway, and charges toward the second flaming ring without losing momentum. Every section works exactly as I planned, and watching the vehicle fly hundreds of blocks above the landscape makes the entire project feel worthwhile. After clearing the final obstacle, there is no more track ahead. The car launches into open space and enters an enormous free fall from high above the world. It is the perfect ending for such an over-the-top stunt course. Just as the timer reaches its final moments, I realize I managed to finish everything in time. This tutorial proves that even under the pressure of a timed challenge, careful engineering and smart building techniques can turn a simple ramp into an unforgettable extreme stunt course. Great! My ramp is ready. It's time for me to show it to the guys.
What?
Wow, JJ, you've got an amazing ramp. My body has never released so much adrenaline before.
Thank you guys. I am very glad that you liked my building. Friends, be sure to write in the comments whose building you liked the most. Well, I think it's time for us to finish.
Yes, JJ, you're right.
Subscribe and like. Bye-bye.
Wow, that's such a cool idea to build. Why didn't I figure it out myself? I definitely should try to build a water park. Mikey, round. I'm starting construction. To begin with, I put lime wool blocks, build the base of my water slide from them. I begin to rebuild it in front, add the missing blocks along the edges. I put invisible blocks in the back, and I put ladders on them, and I use a chiseled bit near the lift. And I pour water from above. An incredible slide. It took so much effort. Great! My water park is ready. Hey, Banana Kid, look! I built it. Do you like? What? Don't you like it? I'm not sure if you can beat me in construction. Ha ha! Don't even dream about it. I am the best builder. Maybe you can try to build a better one yourself? They ran to the place. This will be your building. Are you ready? Then go ahead.
Where did everyone run off to? Hey guys, what's all that noise?
Banana Kid and I are building a water park, JJ. Who did it better?
Oh, both of your buildings look great, but I think it's up to the audience to decide who did the best.
Yes, JJ, you're right. Let's look at the Banana Kid building then.
Banana Kid, your water park is incredibly shining, as if it was created for those who want to swim in luxury.
totally agree with you. Maybe you'll build a water park too?
Okay, then let's run to the place.
JJ, good luck to you. We'll wait in the house.
Thanks, guys. Then I'm starting. JJ round. I will need different blocks of concrete to build it. I'm starting construction. To begin with, I put red blocks of concrete, build a smooth rise out of them. Now next to it, but a little lower, I add more blocks. On the same side, I start building in 2 layers of orange concrete. Now, I finish building the edge of the first water slide from yellow. I start building a second water slide from yellow concrete from the base according to the same principle. I put lime concrete, now light blue, blue, purple, I add another layer of purple blocks here. It seems that something is missing. I'm building down from purple blocks at the back. Building this side with blocks of blue, light blue, lime, yellow, orange and red concrete, putting up the missing blocks. Now I'm putting up a lot of stairs on this side. Inserting them into the second opening. And into the third. I pour water on top of the slides. I make holes for running water from below. I also put rainbow chests for equipment on top. and put boats in them. For the reliability of my construction, I build pillars of red and purple concrete on both sides. In front, I change the blocks of earth to different blocks of concrete. Build the contour of my pool. With the help of the special command, I'm removing the blocks inside the contour. And now I'm starting to replace the blocks of earth and stone at the edges with concrete. Building a pool for the second slide. And now for the third. I also use the command again and fill the pool with water completely. I think it looks great. Great, my water park is ready. It's time for me to show it to the guys.
Wow, JJ, you've got a wonderful water park. I like it.
Thank you guys. I am very glad that you liked my building. Friends, be sure to write in the comments whose building you liked the most. Well, I think it's time for us to finish.
Yes, JJ, you're right.
Subscribe and like. Bye-bye.